UConn and Perdue. Let's hop right into our video breakdown as the national championship is here. So today we are going to be starting off by checking out the team stats as we always do when we're at the end of the game. Next, we're going to take a look at the key matchups and how different elements of the game line up and who is better suited in those different elements of the game. Next, we have the zone-in matchup, which is one specific matchup. In this case, it's a player-on-player matchup that we're going to check out in depth. And there's going to be a more in-depth video on this SNS Zone-In matchup. And then finally, we're going to end the video with a final prediction. All right, let's check out the key stats for each of these programs. So UConn is minus 6.5 as of right now. It's according to ESPN. Purdue leads in most of these stats. The one they don't lead in is field goal percentage. UConn does make more shots. They actually put up about the same amount of shots each game. But as far as three-pointers go, while UConn has lower percent, they also make more. As far as free throws go, UConn has a worse percentage, but they get fouled less. So take what you will from that. This is going to be a very interesting game, and these stats can kind of show you that. I think I'll get more into this in a second. These stats don't reflect something. And statistically, right, it shows you Purdue is the advantage. There's a reason UConn is at minus 6.5. It's because they've won 30 of their games. But I'll get into more of why I think UConn is minus 6.5 in this situation, and we're going to check that out with key matchups here. This is something we haven't done yet because we haven't had singular games, like one singular game. I'm not just going to do what I normally do, which is look at the stats, make my prediction, explain my prediction. I'm going to go a little more in depth to a game of this amount of stakes. So key matchups here. These are the key things. Which team is better? So shooting, I have to give this to UConn. I know the three-pointer percentage does go to Purdue, and statistically it does look like Purdue's better at shooting. However, I think UConn is better at shooting in volume, right? Their offense is really good because of their shooting. When they get open shots, they just have ways of getting open. And when they get the open shots, they make them. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the highest percentage, but they shoot in volume, and that gives them, I think, the shooting advantage because UConn can just find ways to get open in games that I don't see Purdue doing as much. Rebounds, this is going to go to Purdue. This is a pretty simple one, not only just because of stats, but they have Zach Edey. That guy's 7'4". I mean, both of these teams have their really tall guy. UConn relies on them a little less more, but Purdue absolutely would not be here if they didn't have a 7'4" guy on their team. UConn probably wouldn't be here if they didn't have a 7'2" guy on their team. They're just so difficult to defend because of that height. And I'm not trying to knock Edey's talent or anything. He's, of course, very talented and extremely good, but the fact is he's 7'4", and that is a big reason why they're in this game. Free throws, this one's going to go to UConn, not because I know statistically Purdue makes more, but when it comes down to clutch free throws, I see UConn making those. They made those in that Bama game. That Bama game was the first really close game that UConn's had, and they knocked down the clutch free throws that they needed to hit. Purdue, they're good. They're good at their free throws, right? They hit them, and they have statistically a higher percentage than UConn does. But again, they get fouled less. UConn has more volume there, so their percentage is going to be lower because they're shooting more shots. Defensive, this is a no-brainer. Purdue has a good defense, yes, but UConn has been number 2 in the country, almost arguably number 1. Tennessee was the only team that could even stack up to them. I'm ashamed those two didn't get to play. I'm ashamed. It's not like it's my fault, but I'm really kind of upset that those two teams didn't get to play in this game because that would have been so much fun to watch those two defenses going at it. Now this last one here, this is the most important thing in the game, I think. Coaching here. Coaching, it's going to go to UConn. I don't know too much about college basketball coaching and what makes an excellent coach. But what I do know is from watching Purdue play, you notice it just feels different than a different team like Alabama or NC State. It feels like that they're a little less well coached. Now, their coach has been there for 20 plus years, and he's obviously an incredible coach. But watching them play, right, they get in shot clock trouble so many possessions, and that's not normal. You don't see that in college basketball that much, at least modern day. And that's, I think, to me, is a sign of a poorly coached team. They don't get fouled a lot. That's because they usually have a big lead. They don't foul that much. That's because they usually have a big lead. But they do foul, and sometimes it can be pretty bad. But just watching them play, watching them get in shot clock trouble consistently on possessions, like it could be 2 out of every 5 or 3 out of every 5 possession they're in shot clock trouble when they really shouldn't be. To me, is a sign of not a poorly coached team, but just a team that doesn't have elite coaching, and I think UConn definitely does. Their coach definitely knows what he's talking about. He's very animated on the sideline, very fun to watch that. He takes, I think, better timeouts than Perdue does, and it's a big factor. I know it's boring, but I do think it's a big factor. So next up, we have SNS Zone-In. I'm not going to go too in-depth here. There's going to be a separate video about this matchup right here, but our Zone-In matchup for today is Donovan Clingan and Zach Edey. Those drop shadows are off. Let me fix those real quick. All right. But Donovan Clingan and Zach Edey. This is the matchup we want to zone in on. Clingan is 7'2", Edey 7'4". These two are obviously going to be on each other. Man-to-man defense. These two are going to be covering each other, and that's pretty clear to me. And this is going to make it tough, because Purdue's been using Edey a lot for his height, and UConn's been using Clingan a lot for his height. So seeing them on each other is definitely going to make it tough. Of course, Edey's 2 inches taller, so he has the height advantage there. But this is going to be entertaining to watch, because both these teams aren't going to be able to lean on their big height players as much as they could before. So I think ultimately what this game is going to come down to here. Before I reveal my prediction, please do consider liking and subscribing and checking out more content on the channel, because it helps me out a lot and I really appreciate it. It's 100% free, and feel free to comment, because I love having conversations with you guys about these games in the comments. What's going to come down to here is supporting cast. Those two players, right, they're kind of the star-ish of the team, but you know how I say star-ish. Edey, obviously, but UConn has multiple stars. And going back to all those different things I predicted here, looking at all of these, shooting, the free throws, the defense, and the coaching, to me, that makes it pretty clear to pick UConn. The curse has been broken. If you watch those couple of shorts that I posted, I don't think this curse is broken short is out yet, but at the time of me recording this. But if it is, it'll be in the description. But UConn, I think, has just the better team around their star. They are better suited to win the championship than Perdue is. Perdue has their star, and Purdue's a great team. They obviously wouldn't be here if they weren't a great team. But UConn has the better supporting cast to go around their 7-foot guy than I think Perdue does. And they work with him better. I think he's schemed better. That being said, thank you so much for watching. Please do consider leaving a like and subscribing if you enjoyed, and I will see you all in my championship review video.